Good morning, students. Today, this is the last segment of the chapter, and here we different the topics we have discussed. The last in video we have discussed about the how to protect the workers in unorganized sector. So, proceeding to that particular topic, we will discuss here the term of ownership, public and private sector. So most of thing you know about, but why we are studying in detail about to know the work of government and basically the income and the you can say expenditure of the government on the different activities or services. Now, another way of classifying economic activities, because last year we read economic and non-economic activities. So in economics, generally we discuss the economic activities by which the income is possible. So another way of classify economic activities into sector could be on the basis of who owns asset and responsible for the delivery of the services. Asset, another word of economics, that is, if you remember, money which money makes money. You can understand by the money. If a person is rich, so he will be spending his money over the another kind of business activity by which he can make the money. So means in Hindi we call this punji. This is means the word of economics. So is responsible for the delivery of the services in public sector. The government owns most of the assets and provide all the services. In private sector, ownership of the assets of delivery of services in the hands of private individuals or companies. Railways, post office, an example of public sectors, whereas companies like Tata's, Iron and Steel Companies Limited, Tisco, Reliance Industries Limited, RIL, and are privately owned. We know that you are enough smart about this, that which are the private one, which are the public one. So activities in the private sector are guided by the motive to earn. Private means if a person is earning, if a person is running his business, what is the reason behind it? He wants to be more richer and definitely want to get the profit. So another, to get such services we have to pay money to these individuals companies, and the purpose of, if we want to purchase, means we want the service of these companies. Suppose, for example, if Reliance is doing some favor for the people, like distributing the fresh water during the summer season, so definitely he will that company will charge something. But when government is doing this, public sector is doing this, they will doing it free of cost. People will not pay any cost of money or any single penny over it. So the purpose of public sector is not just, means public sector doesn't get any profit and governments raise money through taxes and other ways to meet the expenses over the service rendered it by it. Modern days government spend on a whole range of activities. What are these activities? Why do the government spend on these activities? Let's find out. Means everyone knows that on which particularly government earn the taxes. Means from the poor person, some people are exempted from paying the taxes and some only pay the taxes and some are paying according to the income of taxes. This is the policy of the government and it comes under the public sector. So there are several things needed by the society as a whole which our private sector will not provide at a reasonable cost. As I told you about the water, as I told you about some services, basic services which are very, very important for the poor people. So that company do not provide. That companies do not provide. Why? Some of these need spending large sums of money which is beyond the capacity of the private sector. Also, collecting money from thousands of people who use these facilities is not easy. Even if they do provide these things, they would charge a high rate of their use. For example, the constructions of roads, bridge, railways, harbors, generating electricity, providing irrigation through dams. You can understand all these. These are the basic needs. Means A poor person can travel in railways, cannot hire the buses or taxis or plane. So harbors generating electricity like coal, these are the part of that. And thus the government have undertake such heavy spending and ensure that these facilities are available to everyone. Everyone means whether it is rich and poor, so everyone can have the facility of public sector. There are some activities which government has to support these production or business unless government encourages for it. Example, selling electricity at the cost of generation may push up the cost of production of good in many industries. Many units, especially small scale units, might have to shut down. Governments here steps to take producing the supply of electricity at the rate which the industry can afford. Means if government is providing these facilities to such industries, means is that it is in the upliftment of the country, development of the country. So means the cost is will be according to that in which that company can afford. The government has to bear the part of the cost. Means we know the cost is high, but sometimes the government provide at the cheaper rate. The reason behind it that because one day the development will come. Similarly, the government in India buys wheat, rice, farmers at the fair price shop. This we read last year in PDS system in buffer stock. So there is the this is stored in the godowns and sells at the lower price to the consumers through the ration shops. So which we have read in 9th class. No need of understanding because that particular we read. Why? Because this is the policy of the government. Food security we read all. So till here we discuss in this. Next segment we'll discuss next video. Okay.